a U.S. military drone shooting a missile at an unidentified object.
Panama alien situation just got worse, and people can't believe what was revealed on camera.
Ahí está.
But that's not all, as more mysterious alien footage and shocking extraterrestrial encounters have emerged, all in today's video. In late August 2025, a TikTok user, Kin from Panama, posted a video claiming a meteorite landed in his backyard in the Pedregal district. The meteorite he showed was a small, silver-looking rock which burned leaves on contact. Then, over days, it transformed into a tentacle alien-looking parasite that oozed a greenish gel. Then it turned black. Soon, more tentacle-like appendages formed and even moved on its own. The content creator locked the organism in a safe because it was growing rapidly and behaving strangely. The last update he made was in September, where he placed it in an abandoned place that was filled with water. This alien tentacle monster could be seen swimming around in that area. But just recently, he made another update, and that has shocked everyone, which we will reveal in our subscribers' pick of the day, so wait around for that. Real alien footage. In the winter of 1992, somewhere near the communities of Rivière Rouge in Quebec's Laurentides region, a group of travelers riding snowmobiles came across an alien body that was partly buried in the snow. The figure was small in size with grayish skin, an oversized head, and elongated limbs. They didn't want to touch it, so the group used a rope to lift the body briefly and take photographs. The photographs showed the being upright, suspended by the rope under its arms. After taking a few images, the travelers left the area with plans to return the next day, because they didn't have the proper equipment to take it away with them that day. When they came back, the body was no longer there. The snow around the spot showed some disturbance that didn't match the travelers. Unfortunately, nothing has ever come of this, but suspiciously, even after solid evidence, the local police and the government chooses to remain quiet. Unidentified craft. In 2018, a short video recorded during a public event in Quebec captured what appeared to be an unidentified flying object hovering over a crowd. The footage, later uploaded by YouTube user Mysterious Things, shows a brightly lit craft moving steadily across the sky. The video was recorded on a handheld device, and although the camera shakes frequently, several details of the object can still be seen. The craft had a distinct, structured shape with lights along its sides. The design did not resemble any conventional aircraft or drone commonly seen at public gatherings. The craft appeared to move smoothly, maintaining a consistent altitude while remaining silent, which made the sighting even more mysterious. Throughout the brief clip, background audio captures bystanders speaking in French, many of them audibly surprised by the sighting. Analysis of the footage revealed no clear signs of digital manipulation. Due to the craft's unusual design and apparent silence, it has been declared as a UFO.
Seems to have no visible means of propulsion, maybe even exhibiting anti-gravity. So this very well could be something not of this world.
Creepy alien encounter.
Get over here.
While out exploring together as a family, they caught something lying on the ground under a fallen tree trunk. As one of them got a closer look, he noticed a bizarre creature on the ground with long arms and claw-like hands. He told him to step back, fearing it might still be alive, and that was a good call, because this creature got up and scared both of them. It had an elongated, thin head, with a face that was so strangely distorted it was difficult to identify any facial features. This startled both of them, but as they were about to leave, they captured another of those alien creatures standing behind them.
Oh my God! No! Run!
They barely managed to escape. Mountain beam incident. A leaked online video showed a white beam moving steadily across a remote mountain region. The light appeared to travel horizontally, distinct from a meteor's natural descent. Moments later, multiple green streaks shot toward the beam, seemingly converging on it. Observers speculated that the green lights could represent ground-based tracking systems or laser activity. The video ends abruptly, leaving the outcome unclear. Gray alien found. Viewer discretion is advised for the following footage. A couple of friends saw something lying on the ground in the middle of the forest. They went to get a closer look and were baffled to come across a body of a tall, gray alien. At first, they got scared and ran away, only to realize something rather disturbing. Since it did not chase them, they recorded it up close and found out that it was deceased and missing one of its legs. What happened to it? And more importantly, who did it encounter? Aliens hiding. A massive alien spacecraft was seen behind a cloud by a tourist in China. There were clearly lights coming out of the craft, and something similar was spotted on the 23rd of September, 2024 in Connecticut. This alien craft had 3 lamp-like lights underneath, with flashing lights behind the clouds. These were no ordinary sightings, that's for sure. Mall alien. A strange figure with a human-like body, but gray in color, was caught by CCTV inside a mall. This happened a year ago in Florida, where one of the security cameras managed to capture its strange appearance. It had long arms with deformed hands as it eerily made its way closer to the camera. Those dark, hollow eyes were even more creepy, but once hundreds of police cars arrived, the alien was nowhere to be found, according to police reports. Strange sighting.
Mírala, 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 mírala. Mira esa luz de ahí, ¿sí la estás viendo?
In the mountains near Manizales, Colombia, a hiker came across something that left him unsettled. Out of the thick fog, a bright, glowing orb appeared right in front of him, cutting through the mist with unusual intensity. The light was so strong that it illuminated the surrounding area, making the fog itself seem charged with energy. What stood out most was how long it stayed. The orb didn't move erratically like most unexplained lights. Instead, it hovered quietly for several minutes, almost as if it was absorbing something from the air. Then, without any sound or trace, it disappeared, leaving behind only the still fog and an experience the hiker couldn't explain.
Si no la tapa, no. Mírala, mírala ahí.
Mutated alien. This video is incredibly strange. It begins straight away by showing a half-asleep alien, or at least, that is what it looks like in the beginning. This alien was moving its head around and was found inside of a small abandoned building in an African village. The exact location was never disclosed. The cameraman identified it to be an extraterrestrial being that had been mutated because of its strange eyes and gaping mouth. No other information was released other than the fact that this creature mysteriously vanished a week later. Missile-proof UFO. On 30th October 2024, off the coast of Yemen, U.S. military surveillance recorded something that would later stun both officials and the public. The footage, kept under wraps for nearly a year, was finally shown on September 9th, 2025, during a U.S. congressional hearing on unidentified anomalous phenomena, better known as UFOs.
It seems to show a U.S. military drone shooting a missile at an unidentified object just off the coast of Yemen.
A missile, identified as a U.S. Hellfire, streaks across the sky toward a glowing orb hovering above the ocean. But what happens next defies explanation. As the missile makes contact, it appears to bounce off the object, continuing on its trajectory. The footage clearly shows the missile making direct impact and then carrying on unaffected. UAP journalist George Knapp, who testified during the hearing, said that's a hellfire smacking into that UFO and bouncing right off.
That's a hellfire missile smacking into that UFO and just bounced right off. And it kept going.
And that in any normal strike, a hellfire would obliterate its target on impact. The video was reportedly provided by a whistleblower, and Pentagon officials, when contacted by CBS News, declined to comment on the incident. Aliens visiting Paris. A night vision recording of a triangular alien craft over Paris has become one of the best supporting evidence of alien visitation on Earth. Recorded almost 13 years ago, a futuristic, thin but dark triangular-shaped UFO made rounds over the city of Paris, with 4 lights underneath, but the one in the middle was used to either abduct people or for aliens to come in and out of the craft. But the most shocking claim of this video is that it was recorded by a military officer or whistleblower and had to keep his identity hidden in order to avoid something bad happening to him. Moscow UFO encounter. On April 11, 2025, residents near the Moscow region witnessed something that sent local defense forces into panic. Late that night, a strange rotating object was spotted moving across the sky, glowing with a red center and surrounded by a spinning white ring. At first glance, it looked like a drone, but its motion was far too peculiar and its light pattern too unusual. Moments later, Russian air defense systems engaged with bright tracer rounds towards it in the night sky as the object spun rapidly, seemingly untouched by the barrage. Witnesses described the aircraft as helicopter-like, but its body was separated from the rotating wings and was also emitting small particles in its path. Initial reports suggested it could have been an RZ-500 helicopter-type drone, but that model's range is roughly 186 miles, which makes it impossible for it to reach Moscow. There were also no reports of aircraft or drones being in that area, which is why people believe this was an actual UFO, considering what it looked like, how it managed to avoid all of Russia, and the fact it was never seen again. Floating enigma. In February 2022, a security camera in Chica Leopoldo Juarez, which is east of Mexico City, captured something that would soon have the internet debating for weeks. It was seen by CCTV over an empty lot, where around 7 p.m., 3 stray dogs began acting strangely. They looked up and started barking nervously towards something floating above them. An unidentified object could be seen hovering over the area. It wasn't a drone, nor did it move like a balloon. Through an infrared filter, the object looked like a weird blob, changing shape as it drifted across the frame. The video was later uploaded to YouTube, where viewers immediately began dissecting every frame. Some argued it was CGI, a hoax meant to stir up attention, but others pointed out the dog's natural reactions. Something nearly impossible to fake convincingly. It could have been an extraterrestrial probe, meant to collect data or survey the area. Despite countless theories, no official explanation has ever been given. The footage remains one of the most unexplained aerial sightings ever caught on camera. Alien abduction? A short clip submitted by an online user shows an unusual moment caught on a home security camera. The footage begins with a dog walking calmly in a fenced yard. The area appears well lit, with no visible openings or gaps in the fencing that would allow the animal to pass through. Roughly 45 seconds into the recording, the dog suddenly vanishes from view. There is no visible movement suggesting it climbed or crawled through any part of the fence. Then, moments later, the same dog reappears on the opposite side of the fence, standing perfectly still. Viewers said that there were no visible cuts, skips, or edits in the video timeline, which made the sudden change in the dog's position difficult to explain. Only possible explanation that was given was that the dog was abducted by aliens, and later returned because the aliens weren't interested in animals. What do you think? Let me know in the comments. Alien on CCTV. A video released by a Turkish news channel in early 2016 drew attention for showing a strange humanoid figure captured on a highway surveillance camera near Diyarbakir, Turkey. The incident occurred on 12th February around 1:40 a.m. local time. In the clip, a small, upright figure can be seen walking along the edge of the empty road. The being's movements appear irregular. It walks forward, stops briefly, then moves backward in a slow, floating motion before accelerating out of frame. A few seconds later, it reappears near an adjacent block, crosses the road, and eventually disappears from view. The quality of the footage is poor, which has made verification difficult, but some viewers are convinced this was an alien or a similar humanoid creature, and not a small human being. Unidentified orbs.
Right here is absolutely trippy. Check this out. This was captured on an elephant trail cam in South Africa. Take a look at these orbs in the sky. Watch what they do.
A wildlife monitoring camera placed on an elephant in South Africa recorded an unusual aerial phenomenon. The footage, which surfaced online through a nature observation channel, shows several luminous objects appearing in the night sky above the area. The clip begins with two bright orbs descending slowly while maintaining a close distance to one another, almost as if connected. Their light intensity remains steady, and no visible structure or solid frame can be identified.
Two weird orbs coming down. They look like they're staying almost connected to one another.
As they move downward, a third orb appears to rise from the lower portion of the frame, seemingly from near the water's surface. Shortly after, two additional lights emerge, drifting upward in coordinated motion.
This is just rising up out of like the water over here, and then you have two more coming up. Look how they're just kind of going like side to side right here.
The movement is very different from any typical flight paths of known aircraft, drones, or flying critters. However, the synchronization between the orbs and the lack of flicker have led some to classify the incident as an example of unidentified aerial phenomena. Helicopter UFO pursuit. A video circulating online shows a government helicopter tracking an unidentified flying object across the sky.
Yo, that's an orb being chased by a helicopter.
The object displayed irregular movement patterns, including rapid acceleration and abrupt directional changes inconsistent with known aircraft. Viewers claimed the clip supports theories of concealed aerial technology or unidentified entities. Authorities have not issued any statements regarding the footage, leaving its authenticity and context unconfirmed.
What the? That is a straight up orb, dude. Being followed by a freaking helicopter.
Cylindrical aerial object. A hiker reported witnessing a large cylindrical object hovering silently above a trail during an evening walk. The object appeared motionless and emitted no detectable sound or light. Before the witness could record it, the object reportedly faded from view. Despite the account gaining attention online, no other individuals in the region reported similar sightings, and no physical evidence was recovered. Metallic orb seen. This was captured in August of this year. Two metallic spheres were recorded maneuvering in the skies above Medellin, Colombia. The footage showed both objects moving in a synchronized and calculated pattern, unlike balloons or conventional drones. Witnesses saw them accelerating, stopping, and then returning precisely to their original positions. Analysts reviewing the footage said that the objects appeared to follow a fixed formation, possibly aligned with a grid or responding to an unseen signal. Medellin has been home to several unexplained aerial events in recent years, and this incident has only added to that mystery of advanced, unknown technology. Glowing sky ring. Back in 2021, a motorist captured footage of a circular glowing formation suspended in the sky. The ring appeared perfectly symmetrical and emitted a soft, consistent light. Several smaller objects were seen entering the ring before both the crafts and the formation vanished. Analysts reviewing the video described the movement as precise and coordinated, suggesting possible technological control. No official explanation or confirmation has been issued. New Jersey orb. On 16th August this year, a resident in New Jersey recorded an unidentified glowing orb suspended above a residential neighborhood. The object appeared stable at first, emitting a steady light. However, moments later, a concentrated beam projected downward, briefly shifting position before flaring intensely, enough to overexpose the camera feed. Witnesses described the orb's movement as unnaturally smooth and deliberate, with its brightness fluctuating as it appeared to scan the area. The object's controlled motion and lack of audible rotor noise led many to dismiss that it was a helicopter or drone. The sighting clearly showed an advanced surveillance device or something even of non-terrestrial origin. Football match aliens. Who said UFOs don't show up during public events? Well, in 1979, during an NFL game between the Dallas Cowboys and Pittsburgh Steelers, that's exactly what happened. Cameras accidentally captured not one, but 2 UFOs hovering above the stadium. And get this, 52,000 people witnessed the whole thing. Even the commentators, who are usually calm and collected, were just as baffled as everyone else.
I want you to explain that to me, Dr. Spock.
I'm afraid to. This is sort of a Twilight Zone football game we're having.
Some skeptics thought they were kites, but believers argued that they were moving way too fast for that.
There it is. Now what is that?
UFOs at a sports match? Now that's something you definitely wouldn't expect. Idaho sky object. On 2nd September 2025, residents of Downey, Idaho, recorded an unusual object suspended in the sky. At first, it appeared as an irregular cloud formation, but its symmetry and steady positioning stood out. The object maintained its place against the wind and emitted a faint circular glow around its edges, giving it a defined saucer-like outline.
You don't think that had anything to do with that being one of the
Reports of a similar object came from neighboring Utah just days earlier, suggesting possible movement across state lines. While meteorologists offered no official statement, some have called it an atmospheric illusion, while others believe it could be evidence of a cloaked craft operating in plain sight.
Media shoot the showers? I don't think so.
Alien stalks abductee. On July 17th, 2003, Stan Romanek and his wife decided to set up the camcorder and pointed it toward the window.
Just gonna keep it rolling there.
What they managed to capture terrified them. A small, gray, alien-like figure with large black eyes was seen peering through the window while moving its head and making gestures like a human being. Stan then moved towards the window, but the alien quickly hid itself and started running away.
Something a little faster. Oh man, what is that?
Once the video surfaced, it was believed to be authentic evidence of alien contact, while some questioned its credibility. However, Stan, who claims to be an abductee, said it's real. Ocean UFO. At approximately 10:25 p.m. late June this year, witnesses along an African coastline recorded a massive disc-shaped craft hovering above the ocean. The craft had a faint glow that reflected across the surface of the water. However, what caught observers off guard was a second light, a glowing layer just beneath the ocean's surface, moving independently of the object above. At first, many assumed it was a reflection, but the water's illumination shifted in an entirely different direction, suggesting 2 separate phenomena. It eventually went away, and to this day, no official explanation has been provided. Close encounter footage. A recently uploaded bizarre video captured what appeared to be a saucer-shaped, unidentified object flying dangerously close to a commercial aircraft in broad daylight. The footage shows the craft moving with sharp, deliberate motions and leaving behind a faint, glowing trail. Eyewitnesses estimated that the object came within seconds of a possible mid-air collision. While some viewers claimed it was an extraterrestrial craft observing human aviation, others proposed it might have been a classified test of experimental technology, with the plane monitoring its behavior. What do you think this was? Sky anomaly. On August 11, 2025, residents in China witnessed a strange atmospheric event in broad daylight. A dense white mist appeared high in the sky. The formation glowed softly and maintained its shape far longer than a typical vapor trail before gradually dispersing. As it faded, 3 luminous orbs became visible within the mist, each maintaining equal distance before vanishing moments later. Video of the event spread quickly because of how unusual it was. Although there isn't any clear explanation on this, the site has made some believe it would be alien technology. Strange home clip. In the early hours of the night, a family was startled awake by an intense light flooding their home. When they stepped outside, they observed a large disc-shaped object hovering above their neighborhood. A single beam of light came down from its base, scanning the street below. The light changed colors from yellow to blue. The family recorded the event and shared it online, with some viewers now convinced it was an actual UFO scanning the area. But unfortunately, the location was never disclosed, as the family didn't feel safe sharing it online. Extraterrestrial passenger. Always check your rear view mirror. Preparing to record another vlog, this YouTuber was getting ready to leave, but had to make an important phone call. As he got to it, in the middle of the video, right behind the passenger seat, something can be seen slowly lurking out. It was seen only briefly as it observed the camera recording it, but it still picked up its unusually glowing eyes. Just then, the YouTuber noticed it. So he ran out of his car being absolutely terrified of the thing inside his car. Mysterious sky orb. Witnesses reported observing an unusually bright orb in the night sky that initially resembled an ordinary star. However, within moments, its behavior changed. It expanded and contracted rhythmically, transforming from a sharp star-like burst into a faint, pulsing sphere. Those who recorded the phenomenon described it as unlike any known celestial event. It could possibly have been an interdimensional portal, or maybe even a mysterious sky orb. Despite these theories, the footage showed consistent brightness changes and structural form, which ruled out several natural explanations. Riverbank encounter. A viral photograph taken near the Pico Mayo River has become one of the most widely discussed visuals online. Captured 2 years ago, the image shows a man posing by the riverbank, unaware of what was standing just a few feet behind him. When reviewed later, the photo revealed a small, humanoid figure, estimated to be about 4 feet tall, with elongated limbs, an oversized head, and pale, almost translucent skin. The Pico Mayo region quickly gained a reputation for unexplained phenomena. Locals began linking the sighting to earlier reports of strange lights and aerial crafts. One undeniable connection was made to a 2015 incident in Bolivia, where a saucer-shaped object was filmed moving across the sky. Now it's time for that Panama alien. And this last update on the situation is really crazy. Okay, so here is the final update. Although Kin is still posting on TikTok and Instagram, what he has shown in his last update regarding the alienoid creature has shocked a lot of people. Last time we saw him, he had dropped this tentacle creature into the water in some unknown location. Well, turns out that wasn't it. Not only did he take the creature home, but he uploaded pictures showing how all of it was possible. The whole thing, from the meteorite to the creature, was part of his own personal project. He'd built it using a mix of materials and effects that mimicked movement. He got massive news coverage from around the world, but it was all a clever design.
Entonces, oye, yo quiero tu música en tu video. ¿Qué vi?
Now, credit to him for creating such a thing with his own hands, and I am not sure if he himself said that this was an alien from outer space, or decided to just create some content. It's entirely possible people made a mountain out of a molehill. He still uploads videos on his account, but it's clear after the big revelation, he isn't getting that many views.
No.
So how do you feel about this situation? Let me know in the comments below, and thank you for watching.